I want to bring reform to an uninformed generation.
Bring positive exposure to a generation under negative influence.
I want to bring forth talented artists of our time.
Find the next Billie Holiday,
Billy Graham,
Drake,
Rick Pino,
Mahalia Jackson,
Marilyn Monroe,
Martin Luther King.
Natalie Grant.
or the first you.
I want to destroy, break down, take away all negative stereotypes.
I want to create networking opportunities.
Build a better me.
community.
Life.
us.
So won't you join me? Although I am just one person, together, we are
Reform society.
Reform society.
Reform society.
Reform society.
and this is Reform TV. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Reform TV. I'm your host, Richard Russ, and I'm sitting here with Mr. KoJo HotFlow Snowden. How you doing, sir?
Oh man, I can't complain. I'm doing great.
All
Doing
right.
great.
Good stuff. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, you got to show Martin some love.
Oh man, Mr.
Fist
King.
bump or something like that.
I also
There you
have
go.
a dream.
Well, Martin had a dream. See,
Oh,
since
man.
I had a dream.
Oh, he had it.
It's not over, but it's just not his alone anymore.
Right,
Now
it's
it's
all
everybody's
of
dream.
his.
But so we're just gonna start off by talking about kind of like the history of KoJo, starting with the name. Where did the name come from?
KoJo. Well, my mom actually named me Kilo. And in the mid '80s, when I was born, and still today, but have really back then when drugs became like extremely big.
Right, when it was like
as
the
far as-
new kind of
yeah,
thing.
As far as crack, anyway. A kilo of drugs, is like considered a brick, which is a large quantity. And at the same time, my mom living in public housing, and we're surrounded by these things. But my dad was running for public office, and he's more like a political figure with
Right.
what he does, and that just wouldn't have worked out too good to have
Right.
a son named Kilo.
And your father in office.
Right.
Right.
So what he did was he went behind my mom's back like she didn't even know. Like
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if he had what type of strings he got pulled, but he somehow got my name changed without her knowing.
Wow.
And 2 to 4 months later, somewhere in there, she received a letter in the mail saying your son's name has been changed
Right.
to KoJo. Like,
Just flat out.
wow. Yeah. So that's where KoJo came from, and it actually means born on a Monday. It's a Ghana name, a name from
Oh,
Ghana
okay.
in Africa, and so it means born on a Monday, and it also means winter. I
So
happen to
born on
be
a
winner.
Monday in winter.
Winter.
Like winner, like
W-I-
winning.
W-N-E-R,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
And I happen to be one of those, so
Right.
that's how it worked out. so shout out to him for that.
Good job putting it all in place.
Yeah. But he had some issues with my mother though.
Right. So starting out, what was it like? Well, when did you start making music officially?
I started writing raps about the 3rd grade.
3rd grade. I'm pretty sure they were interesting looking back.
Right.
on the
I actually
lyrics.
still got one of my first raps, and shout out to Miss Brown. I had Miss Brown math class, and she forced me to. She said to do a song, a multiplication song, and everybody was like 1, 2, the norm.
Right.
And I don't think she expected to get what she got back from me, but I actually wrote a multiplication rap. And it worked out like that. And from there, the reaction I got from her was like, oh, man. And
Right.
then,
Do you remember it?
nah.
Oh, it was
Not
like, 'cause we
at
could
all,
definitely,
not at
we would
all.
love to hear it.
No, I don't remember it at all. That would have been crazy, though.
Right.
But like I said, I still got the book, so you got to
Right.
invite me back on here, and I'm going to bring the book with me.
Only perform multiplication songs.
Yeah, and I actually drew a picture of myself
Performing
on
the song.
top of the paper where I wrote the rap, and I gave myself a little part and a high top.
That
fade,
should definitely
everything.
be the next album cover.
You know what?
Why not? It should be like
You heard
titled
it
The
here
Multiplication Project. Like that's just what it should be.
You heard it here first. Reform TV, KoJo HotFlow new mixtape will be called The Multiplication
Project.
hosted by Richard Russ,
And Martin Luther King.
who had a dream.
Exactly. So starting in the 3rd grade, how much have you noticed as far as the growth? Like, what was that, the journey?
Well, it was crazy because the multiplication rap went over very well in school, not at home. Like I said, I grew up in a pretty tough neighborhood. So when I went back to the neighborhood with my multiplication rap, it didn't get the same respect that it got
Right.
in the 3rd grade. So from there, like my skills wasn't where they should have been. I was good for my age, but they weren't where they should have been.
Right.
So I started jacking Shaquille O'Neal raps. Keep that between me and you.
Wow.
I knew
Shaq
ain't
Fu?
nobody. I know ain't nobody really listen to Shaq.
Right.
So I felt I take an old Shaquille O'Neal. Nobody listens to Shaq. I tweak the words. I go outside, spit them on the block. Oh, everybody went crazy. Wow. So
So you owe Shaq.
yeah, shout out to
You
Shaq.
might need to help him right now because
Yeah,
he
because
needs the help.
Celtics ain't looking bad. They
Yeah,
ain't looking
definitely.
good. So yeah, it started there, and I went from that to in time sharpening my skills. Around the 5th, 6th grade, like I had took my act on the road, took it back to school,
Right.
lunchroom, and
The
battling.
proving ground for so many artists.
And so and from there, it just took off. Like the name started to come out. Like, oh, KoJo rap, KoJo rap. And from talent shows in middle school all the way up to any projects where music was involved, I was there.
Right.
And that's where it started. And then, of course, back to the neighborhood and being able to see more the life that, a lot of people in my neighborhood was living and being able to tell those stories in my rhymes. I really impressed the guys on the block now. So now I'm HotFlow. Like, they ain't even want to call me KoJo.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you got a HotFlow right there. And it just stuck.
So you're really big on, community aspects and being a part of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And you did a project called I Did It in a Day. Why don't you talk about your project a little bit?
Well, now I Did It in a Day originally came in 2005. What actually happened was I had did, at this time I had did about 4 or 5 solo mixtapes and about 2 group mixtapes. And it started becoming non-challenging because at this time there wasn't a lot of people locally doing as much music as I was doing. And it just felt like, oh, this ain't even a challenge anymore.
Right.
So I said, let me challenge myself. and the challenge was actually me doing a whole mixtape in one day, recording a whole project in one day, which I did. And what was crazy about it was it was a T-shirt line at this time, and they're still around there, actually coming back around now, called Banco Pop, that was doing shirts, and a lot of people was wearing them. So I said, I went to one of the guys who was doing it, a kid by the name Young H.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
Oh yeah? Yeah. So I got with H, and I said, H, I got this idea. I just did my whole mixtape in a day, and I want to do I Did It in a Day T-shirts. So everybody who buy a mixtape, they get a free shirt. So we went to DC, got the bulk of shirts, and that's how I Did It in a Day started. It just me bored of doing mixtapes and challenging myself, and it just went from there, and it graduated. So 05 was Did It in a Day 1, and everybody's like, he didn't really do it in a day. Nobody believed it. So 2007 came around, and I said, hey, summer, let's do a Did It in a Day 2, but this time we'll do a DVD just to prove to everybody that I really did it in a day.
Right.
DVD came, and
Which I actually own.
Yeah. So now you can see, like I really did it in a day.
And you have a relationship with D4 Studios who helped you film the project.
Absolutely. Around 2003, I actually met Emotion, and she had her studio was like the stomping ground for any up and coming local artists, especially in the Baltimore area.
Right.
And I came to her from Annapolis, and it started off, like I said, it was just me up there ciphering, in different circles with different artists that wasn't from my city. And she took a liking to me and started putting me in positions to do a lot of shows. And she really kind of molded me in the sense of making songs. So shout out to Emotion, man. She really came through, her and the whole Deep Flow family, and you know, kind of gave me a home away from home, and got me into that Baltimore scene.
So now that you've kind of evolved as a performer, because you've gone from one aspect of, you know, you kind of just you, Mike, and the music to more of an acoustic set.
Right.
Talk about how that evolution came about from an artist's point of view.
Well, with that, doing shows in the neighborhood, different parties, it was cool. I had fun doing it. I still love doing it. But now it just came to a point like they say, the evolution, like, you know, growing. And if you watch hip hop now today, like one of the biggest artists is Jay-Z. And like he tours with a live band. He does 90% of his shows with a live band. And this year we were working on a lot of different projects, me and my management team, and we just thought like it would be so dope to actually do an unplugged set with a live band. And I was fortunate enough to know some real talented guys who could capture the feeling and the music that I was doing, and we put it all together, practiced from 1 to 2 to 3 times a week, just putting it all together, and it came together over like about 4 or 5 months span of time, and it's my show now. Like it's history now.
Okay, so what's the name of your band?
High by Nature.
High by Nature.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how'd you come across them?
Well, we actually the grind. I was doing a lot of shows at the Whiskey. They also were doing a lot of shows at the Whiskey, and the crazy thing is because now these guys were at a hip hop show. Now you might be like, so what? These guys are at a hip hop show. But the craziest thing about it was the audience, the crowd, and every artist on the show was predominantly black, but they were white, and they were dope.
Right.
And I mean, I sat there and I watched them perform, and they had a set, and during one of their sets, they actually was calling up different artists that was just in the building to come and rap, and I happened to be one of the artists they called up, and at this time, we had no personal relationship or anything. It was just like, okay, and it was just like magic. And like I said, the craziest thing about the performance on their end was they actually would play the instruments while they rap.
Oh, yeah?
And it blew me away because I have a hard enough time keeping the beat like that, rapping.
Right.
So to see them play the keyboard, play the drum, and rap at the same time, was like, whoa. And I mean, jump from behind the mic to the drums, back on the mic, to the keyboard, it was crazy. So we hooked up, got the phone call just about them doing music. It wasn't even about the unplugged situation. And I was just like, yo, that's perfect timing because I'm working on doing this situation myself. So, hey, let's put this whole thing together and make it happen. And that's what we did.
That's an amazing story.
Yes.
So it's in the sense of growing pains, what are some of the things you notice about kind of just being an independent artist in such a, I want to say, conformed, you know, industry? You know what I mean?
It's always tough being independent. It's a good thing because there's no restrictions. You kind of can do what you want, how you want to do it. But when you lack funding, because you're an independent artist and you lack like notoriety, when you're not the popular selling artist, you're not Jeezy, you're not T.I., you're not Wayne, you're not Drake, a lot of people overlook what you do.
Right.
So that's always a struggle, like when you're trying to come from the bottom to the top. But that just shows where whoever's willpower is.
Right.
And like I like to mix my willpower with real power. And I just feel like willpower is what you have, real power is what the man upstairs has.
Right.
So you put those two things together and you can overcome it. But it's rough and it ain't easy, and it ain't for, you know.
And a lot of young artists, as well as the, you know, potential fans, don't understand is that, you know, the Jeezys and the T.I.s, they started somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Master P sold like mixtapes out of his trunk. You know what I mean?
Correct.
For like the first, I think it was like 3 years.
Yeah.
That he was doing music. So it's something that people have to understand, and they have to know to support local artists and support local organizations and support local business. Like, just support everybody.
Yeah, because it all starts there.
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, Jay-Z was Sean before he was Jay-Z. You know,
Exactly.
T.I. was Clifford before he was T.I.
Exactly.
So, like, it
Diddy
has
was
to
dancing
start,
in music videos.
right. And
Right.
so it has to start somewhere. You got to get that support from your hometown. And at the same time, you just can't, respect ain't given. You got to earn it at the same time.
Definitely.
So you can't be somebody who, you know, as far as hip hop, and this is what I've noticed, like getting the studio once a week, or even if you're getting in there more than that, like it can't be for play. Like
Right.
it's got to be serious business, like
Because it's a job.
right, that you don't, that you're not getting paid for in
Right,
the beginning.
right.
So you got to be self-motivated.
Definitely. So, what are some of the things and people that inspire your music?
Things and people. I would have to say, as far as people, in the beginning, like other local artists who were doing it, like I say, from my neighborhood, Faces of Funk, Three Going Hard, Latov, Mad Entities. These were a lot of guys who were doing this rap thing before in the city of Annapolis before I was doing it. And just getting a chance, because my older brother was on the scene. He wasn't a rapper, but he had all the music. So
Right.
I would listen to these things, and it's like, he would tell me, you know, that's, you know, such and such from down the street. That's just Rap Ron, or that's Rico. And I'm like, wow. And then it really took the cake once I heard my cousin. And I'm like, well, if they could do it, I gotta really
Right.
be able to do this. And that's like an inspiration to me, like just putting on for all of these guys who kind of paved the way, in a sense, for me in this city of Annapolis to, you know, do this music thing. So that's an inspiration, just feeling like I can take what they did to the next level, and while doing that, still put on for them. And also things, of course, you know, family. You want to be able to provide. I don't necessarily do it just for, you know, trying to get money. Of
Right.
course, that at the end of the day, you want to get paid for you
what
know,
you
your
do.
work. But if anything, it ain't to deck me out in the flashiest clothes or
Right.
the flyest car. It's really like I want to be able to create that financial freedom for, you know, the people close to me. Make it so my nieces and nephews have options of college and if they chose to go. And, you know, I want to be that guy who be able to give back to the neighborhood
Right.
that, you know, I grew up in, because there was nobody there really to give back to me in the way I wanted to give, the way I want to give back, you know. Not a lot of positivity as far as role models
Right.
of the guy this guy that's standing on the street corner. So I just want to show, you know, you ain't got to be that type of person to, you know, help. And I just want to be an influence, and not just you know, inspiration. I want to be an inspiration myself to all of these, you know, people coming up
Right.
under and behind me. So that's the plan. As Will Smith said, I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea.
Right.
I want to be the thing they think of to say, like, oh, yeah, I think of KoJo, I think of success. Like,
Right.
That's what I want my name to be mentioned with. So that's the plan.
All right. So, in conclusion, what can fans look forward to from KoJo?
Oh man, well, right now I actually have a video that I just finished up called Footsteps. And the song is real powerful, so that'll be coming extremely soon. I got this Gotta Be the Best EP that I'm working on, kind of like a 5-song demo. Of course, what I've always been known for is my mixtapes. I do have a mixtape coming that I'm working on. And also, like I was telling you about the band, we're actually putting together a pretty cool project that's probably going to consist of somewhere between 6 and 8 songs, just to
Nice.
give, you know, people a feel of like some different, you know, a different feel of what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
So got a lot of music coming real soon, and you know, just check out www.mrnetlis.com, and they'll be able to, you know, see some of the things I'm working on, you know, right now.
All right. So, thank you all for tuning in. We have more from KoJo coming up, so stay tuned. perform live on Reform TV's stage. KoJo featuring Higher by Nature, The One You Love.
Let's go, O. Now this one right here, this one might be hard for a lot of people to deal with. I've dealt with these things in my life myself, so I'm gonna give y'all my story. But I wanna make sure you're fully prepared. So, O, sing to 'em. Cut you that deep. This, might slice you to pieces. Now we're about to really get into it. So let's go. Yeah. Reform TV. It's your boy KoJo HotFlow. High by nature, and it's about to go down. Let's go. Never thought I'd be writing this song, but it's all real, so what I'm writing ain't wrong. I gave you my heart, I made you my girl. Everybody know it too, I would've gave you the world. I ain't had the world to give, so I gave her all of me. Guess I should've listened to them. How dumb of me. I was so in love with her on my arm, I figured, hey, let them hate, watch me prove them wrong. We were good for a minute or so, but she would only go to a certain limit with Ko. Been together for a while, it's things I still don't know. I mean, all I ever said was keep it real with Ko. Was it that hard for you to express your feelings for me? Or maybe I was just some toy and you was kidding with me? Well, whatever your reasons could have been, think of what we could have been, should have been, would have been, and should be. It's so hard when you lose the one that you love. It's so hard when you lose the one that you love. So hard. Question: was it 'cause I was locked down, or we were too young, or you were too dumb, huh? Was it 'cause I was locked down, or we were too young, or you were too dumb, huh? You know I won't blame you. I'll just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. I won't blame you. Let's just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. Good dude. I thought you loved me. How could you hurt me, deceive me? You did it so easy. Used to call your phone real late some nights just to tell you that I love you. Try and make things right. She said it back, but it ain't sound like she meant it at all. So I hear it in her voice. Ain't no feelings involved. Now I'm sitting here thinking like, what the? Screaming at myself in the mirror. You Lord, I understand this is a material world, and in the material world there's material girls. Not you. You a real independent. That's true. So the things you doing now ain't what you usually do. Oh, you wait till I got nothing and I need you the most to separate yourself from me. You don't want to be close. First you love me, then you don't love me. Just make up your mind. You don't want to make this work. I'm fine. Don't waste my time. It's so when you lose. It's so when you lose the one. So hard. Question: was it 'cause I was locked down, or we were too young, or you were too dumb, huh? Was it 'cause I was locked down, or we were too young, or you was too dumb, huh? You know I won't blame you. I'll just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. I won't blame you. Let's just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. So I won't blame you. We'll just tell them all it was my fault. Let me get some quietness on this one. Making the song cry, telling all my personal biz. Listen to my definition of what personal is. If you felt we grew apart, that's just the way that it is. People change every day, baby, it is what it is. Can't see myself without you, ain't wanna be without you. But if that's how it's gotta be, it's killing what's inside of me. Wanted you to ride for me, what you do, lie to me. I mean, I swallow my pride, she wouldn't even try for me. Now we just beefing in a serious way. If we really break up, what everybody gon' say? I mean, there's people out there who ain't want her with Ko. They was waiting for a leave, but I ain't want you to go. So it feel like she seemed the same way that they feel. I ain't trying to speak for her, I'm just keeping it real. This ain't a breakup song or a makeup song, but I won't be here forever and you took too long. Sing! When you lose the one. Yeah, yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard. Question, was it cause I was locked down? Or we were too young? Or you were too dumb, huh? Huh? Was it cause I was locked down? Or we were too young? Or you were too dumb, huh? Huh? You know I won't blame you. I'll just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. I won't blame you. Let's just say it was my fault. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was my fault. If you've ever been in love, if you've ever been in love, put your hands up. Put your hands up. If you've ever been in love, if you've ever been in love, put your hands up. Put your hands up. If you're in love right now, and if you're in love right now, put your hands up. Put your hands up. If you're in love right now, and if you're in love right now, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Sing!
So hard when you lose the one that you love.
It's so hard.
When you lose the one that you love.
So hard.
When you lose the one that you love.
So hard. Once again, shout out to Reform TV. KoJo, HotFlow, high by nature. You should know me. Huh? You know I won't blame you. Let's just say it was. I tell them all. I won't blame you. Let's just say it was. I'll tell them all. I'll just say it was.